And so I'm constantly studying what is the best practices, and it's going to be relationship building, no doubt about it. And that's what's going to sustain you. And you just have to stay laser focused in that. And for people that are like old schooling it and they're like, I don't want to do Facebook, I don't want to do Instagram, I don't want to do TikTok, I don't want to do these kinds of things, you're going to get left behind, because as the world continues to evolve, people aren't going to get off their phones. We're on our phones more so now than ever. Everybody's in reactive mode. You hear a ding, you're like, boom, let me drop what I'm doing and check my phone. And so now more so than ever, and especially since COVID, when people are really engaging in social media, they live on it. Now we've been like post-COVID almost a year. And so it's like people almost have gotten used to that kind of engagement, and they almost prefer it. A lot of people prefer it. They prefer, as you know, you can pick up the phone and call a client or a lead and they don't answer, it goes to voicemail, yet you text them and they respond right away. Now, I do the same thing when people call me, but I don't do it because I can't talk to them or because I don't want to talk to them. I usually do it because I'm like in a Zoom or something like this, like it's dinging right now, shutting it off. So I do it when I can't physically talk to them. I cannot respond. I'm talking to somebody. That's when I respond. But the public, the consumers are not that way. So I want to start right now. If you've not gotten used to using social media and building up on how to be a specialist in social media, we're going to focus on that right now and for the next few weeks, because it's super important. You need to get used to doing video. You need to get used to using private message for your means of communication, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, no matter what your means are, even LinkedIn. There are people now on LinkedIn. If you're not working in LinkedIn, you need to be. LinkedIn is like, there's a lot of people engaging on there. And I think a lot of them, if you look on there, it's mostly business people, of course. And I think that they're kind of sick of the drama that sometimes goes along with Facebook. Instagram, not so much. Instagram is usually just quick messages, 1 word, 2 word sentences. But LinkedIn is messaging, back and forth conversations, much like Facebook. But Facebook, sometimes there's a lot of hooking up. Sometimes there's a lot of drama. Sometimes there's a lot of gossip, where LinkedIn's not that way. You're going to get hit with sales pitches on LinkedIn for sure, but just bypass those, respond or whatever. In your mind, you always got to be thinking what you're trying to do is build awareness about you. You may connect just with one single person on LinkedIn that may be your neighbor and you didn't even know it. Any kind of a connection like that, you just need to go deep with. You need to go deep with, and then you need to establish a weekly newsletter to them. And we'll talk about that later, but everybody should have a weekly newsletter and we can walk through how to make it, just like Ricky Cruz does. And so everybody needs to go into your database, and then once a week they get an email from you, because as time goes on, maybe it's 6 months from now, maybe it's 4 years from now, but somewhere along the line, they're going to come a point where they're going to buy something or know somebody that's going to buy something or sell something, and they need to think of you, because research shows that it takes somebody 5 times, at least 5 times, before they even remember your name of seeing it. Brand awareness, your name, whatever it may be, at least 5 times. And then it takes them at least 8 times usually to even remember or want to speak to you. And then usually 10 or 11 times before they'll transact business with you. That's on a cold lead, like totally cold lead. So when you're talking to consumers, that's why billboards work. When it's traffic that's driving by the same thing over and over, it's like brand recognition. They see it over and over. So in social media, you want to go deep with social media. So we are going to start with the very basics of social media, because some people that are jumping on are not using social media. And so for you guys that don't know, we have a bunch of training programs here in our office that we use. We have the best of the best. It's like, why try to reinvent the wheel? There's no need. I do a lot of social media. I've been using it forever, probably 8 years now. And every year I just progress deeper and deeper and deeper into it. Years ago, I had to spend my own time training myself, because there was nobody out there that was teaching it. And so it was kind of pretty much, let me figure this out, trial and error, spend a lot of money, lose money, do that kind of stuff. And so I pretty much know everything that you need to do. This is going to be how you'll build and learn to engage with social media, because as you know, you need to be time blocking everything. And part of your lead gen, follow up, prospecting, whatever you want to call it, every single day, at least an hour. Every single day is engaging with people on Facebook, communicate with them. If they made a post about, their daughter just graduating or somebody getting a job in their family, something like that, private message them. Congratulations, that's so awesome. Get engaged in conversation. If you feel weird about private messaging them, if you're not close enough or you just think it's awkward, do it right there on their feed. Engage in conversation, because every time you engage in that conversation, the people that are commenting on that feed will see your name as well. And so then when that person responds back to you, it brings that whole conversation back up to the top. And then, of course, we would wait a couple of minutes and comment again, so that you're always refreshing it. And then you could even wait 2, 3, 4 hours and go back to the conversation and comment again. And it would brings it back to the top, rebirths it almost. And so I was explaining this to my husband the other night. Last night, I made a comment about that interview. I shoved it into the comments, the link, when they sent it to me. And he's like, why did you put it in the comments? Why didn't you start a new post? And I was like, because there's 68 comments on here. Are you kidding? I'm throwing it in here because this post has huge engagement. Now, by me throwing in a new comment on here at the end of the day, it re-engages everybody. It alerts people. And so it re-engages that whole conversation feed about the whole conversation. And so it's, again, just another way for you to go deeper with the people that you're already engaging with, and then kind of trickle out into their sphere of influence. Because you have to think, for every one contact, every one sphere of influence, whether it's a doctor, whether it's your previous employer, whatever they are, you want to get into that one sphere of influence and then into their network. So you think of it as like the tree trunk, and then their network is the tree. And so you want to have as many trees as you possibly can, so that way you have these little olive branches going off all the time. So you're commenting and stuff from people you really don't know, but they've seen your name in their friends feed. And so they engage, they comment back, they start commenting on your stuff, they like on your stuff, you can friend request them, and it becomes a friendship, basically an acquaintance, you should say. But it turns into friendships, and you can get business, and you will get business from that. And the way that our world is, it gets busier every year and weirder every year, and more people are more comfortable with their relationships online. And so we just got to go with it. We may not like it, but we got to go with it.